Driving Us with the Black Dog. What's Driving Us with the Black Dog? It's myself, my wife Kirstine, our kids and Luna, driving around Australia, raising awareness about suicide prevention and mental health assistance dogs. Why are we doing this? I've got 27 years within the emergency services. That includes SES, fire service and also ambulance. Unfortunately, in that time I've seen a lot of horrendous incidents. In July last year, I had a major mental health event which has resulted in me not being able to work. As part of that, we decided we need to do something, we need to change something. So we're driving around the country, we're raising money for two organisations. The first one is Lifeline Australia, which provides 24/7 crisis support system. They receive a new call every 32 seconds and answer about 2,200 calls per day. More than 40% of their online crisis chat comes from rural and remote locations, which is why we're really focusing on those areas throughout our event. 80% of their funding comes from their retail stores, book sales, and also for fundraising activities like our own. In Australia, there's approximately 65,300 suicide attempts every year. The other organisation we're raising money for is MindDogs Australia. MindDogs Australia are a not-for-profit organisation. They're helping people train and accredit psychiatric assistance dogs, quite often their own dogs, if they meet the right standards. So a MindDog could be any shape or size. Currently they have 608 dogs and handlers, but they only have 12 volunteers. As a result of that, they've been flooded with applications and had to close their books until September 2017. Our goal is to be able to give them some more funding so that they can get more people on board to help increase the numbers of dogs that are helping people like myself. What's Luna's role? Well, she saved my life. She keeps an eye on me day and night. If I'm having a nightmare or a night terror, she'll wake me from it. If I'm in a situation where my anxiety is getting quite high or stress levels, she understands that something's going on. I don't even have to give her a cue, and she'll actually do what she can to take me out of that situation, whether it's physically taking me out or walking me out or distracting me. She allows me to try and live as much of a normal life as possible. Of course, we can't go without thanking our awesome sponsors, and if there's any more out there that are considering contacting us, please do. All sponsors are welcome. Donations, unlike a lot of other charities, 100% of the money that comes in for our beneficiaries goes to our beneficiaries. You can do it through our online My Cause page, where you can also then print off a tax-deductible receipt straight away. The easiest way to do it is to actually go to our website, www.drivingozblackdog.com, click on the Donate Now link. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, so follow us, please. Please support where you can, and if you see us in your town, come and say hi. Thank you.
Welcome to SEMPTY 2017 and our Broadcast Brain studio today. For a bit of a change, we're not really running on the world of broadcast television for a little while. We're talking about something probably a little bit more important than cameras and video recorders today. What we'd like to do is introduce Paul and Kirstine Roadley from Driving the Black Dog. Thanks so much for coming on today, guys.
Thanks, James.
What you're trying to do here is really bring across a hugely important message that I think in day-to-day life just gets forgotten. I suppose the awareness of mental health and the road to recovery is something that is, I suppose, almost swept under the carpet, has been for so many years. So it's really exciting to see, I think it's really strong from you guys especially here to try and do something to make a difference. So Paul, tell us a little bit more about Driving Black Dog and the inspiration behind it there.
Yeah, no worries. My background's 27 years in the emergency services, so fire and rescue, ambulance and SES. So over those years I got to see a lot of really traumatic situations. In July last year, it culminated in me having a full mental breakdown where I was suicidal and, a really dark and bad time. And through my discussions with the psychiatrist, they suggested, well, you need to go for a holiday, get away from it all. And because I couldn't work, I'd be driving to work and I'd feel like I was literally going to be sick. I was just really getting stressed out with it all. So Kirstine went to work one day and I sort of sitting at home and I thought, you know what? He said, let's go for a holiday, so let's do it properly. Let's drive around the country. And I thought, well, if we're going to do it, we might as well try and help others. So Driving Oz with the Black Dog was born.
It's certainly fantastic that you've been able to, I suppose, turn a bad time into a positive. And certainly, Kirstine, for you, it must have been a tough time as well to see one you love go through so much pain, I suppose, too.
It was utterly terrifying. It still is the most stressful time I've ever been through. Watching your husband in so much pain and not being able to make it better.
Yeah.
So when he sort of spoke about a road trip, I was 100% behind him.
Absolutely, and what better to do a road trip around Australia, I suppose, and go along, bring the family along and...
exactly.
Do your best to help others.
Yeah.
And now I think it's also really important to introduce Luna here. So Luna be your friend through this whole process. And tell us a bit more about Luna and also the training and what's going through the whole process to bring her up to being able to help in the way she does.
Yeah, well, Luna's what we call a mental health assistance dog. So as an assistance dog, service dog, she has exactly the same access rights as a dog for someone who's blind, for example. So there's several different types of dogs. You've got your pets, you've got your therapy dogs, you've got your companion dogs, and then there's the service dogs. So Luna actually fits in the category of psychiatric service dog. So part of the program that we went through was with MindDogs Australia. And what they do is they'll actually evaluate your dog and see if there's a potential for that dog to become a service dog. We've had Luna since she was 8 weeks of age. She was the family pet. And through the program, she showed some really good signs and potential. So the training's quite rigorous. It takes a lot of time. You train the dog yourself. They train you and you train the dog. And then at the end, you do what's called a public access test. So the public access test is basically doing a whole heap of things in the public. Trains, buses, seeing how she goes with them. Elevators, lifts, escalators, in shopping centres. How does she go? If I drop the lead, how does she go with that? How is she with kids?
Yep.
How is she with other dogs and food? For her test, they dropped a nice fresh piece of sliced ham on the ground and she wasn't allowed to sniff it or do anything with it. And she did great. She actually passed her test 2 weeks before we started the trip. So, but what she does is she monitors my stress, my anxiety, my post-traumatic stress disorder, and when things are starting to get a bit much, she'll actually trigger. And if I'm sitting down like this, she'll actually come up, put her head on my knee. If I ignore that, she'll actually end up sticking her nails in and stands up till she's actually in my face. And basically, it's not just, okay, you have to give her quite a bit of attention. And at night time, with my PTSD, I have horrendous nightmares or night terrors. She actually notices, and she'll actually come up on the bed and wake me up, and then she'll lay beside me until I've calmed down again. So, and she does all of that without being cued. I don't have to tell her anything. We had a situation at a restaurant one day, and the owner was getting very aggressive, very much in my face, and she actually came around and lay between him and me to keep that distance.
Yep.
That's one of the things she's been trained for. So, yeah, she's a super smart dog.
That's amazing, and I know in my family I'd say that my sister right now would be looking at Luna very lovingly because she's a German Shepherd lover. So she's a lovely, lovely dog. So I think it's it's really fantastic that you can go and help, I suppose, give back to the people that have given you so much here with Luna. So tell us a bit more about the trip. We're going all around Australia in your fantastic missing patrol.
Yes, yes.
And we're going through a range of different remote communities. Tell us what the idea behind that is.
Yeah. We know with the big cities, there's quite a lot of help for people for mental health. But when you get into the remote or the regional communities, that's not the case. Either because they run the philosophy of, don't say anything, you've got to man up, toughen up, just deal with it. And unfortunately, mental health, and in particular suicide rates in remote communities and regional communities are 3 to 4 times higher than what they are in the big city. So as part of our trip, it's about close to 80,000 kilometres that we'll do on the trip. We've done about 20 so far, so we've still got a long way to go. We started in West Australia, Perth, early April. We came across to Victoria, and we've done a fair bit of work in Victoria. So from here, we start heading around the rest. So we're not just doing the lap of the map, as people call it, just the single main roads. We're doing a lot of small communities. We've got some Indigenous communities that want to catch up with us when we're going through, particularly Northern Territory and Northern Queensland. So we're really looking forward to that. We've met, quite a few Indigenous people, and one of the elders gave us a whole heap of contact and said, hey, go talk to these people. They really need it. There's one family and they've had 3 people commit suicide, 3 males within that one family. It's just horrendous. It really is.
It's certainly amazing to think that so many of these tragedies could be prevented by, I suppose, awareness for potentially the services that could be available. And I think it's fantastic that going out there and even trying to help people to see that there are ways to be able to move forward. And,
that's right. And it's across all industry. Like even this industry, it's very high pressure. It's, got to happen now sort of thing. There's a lot of stress. So people within this industry have, quite a high rate of mental health issues as well. So we're not just focusing on emergency services, For here, Videocraft are obviously very concerned about the industry and the mental health and well-being of them.
It's certainly in the film and TV industry, it is very stressful. You're working under extremely tight deadlines. A lot of people that go and have a look and say, oh, we have to be on air now, it's got to happen this, got to do that. And in the real world, when we all go and step back and say, well, the sun's going to rise tomorrow, you get so caught up in a moment that it just seems to be the be-all and end-all. And I'm sure that even from the trip that you're doing here, it must be pretty nice to wake up in the morning knowing that you don't have to be on the 7:15 to go and get to the office by 8:30 or whatever. So is that helping as well with the holiday, with the kids? And
there's still stressful times. We've been doing a lot of work trying to organise media. Particularly television. Print media have been really good. We've had quite a lot of interviews. The kids are, well and truly aware of what to do when there's a reporter around now, and especially when getting photos and that done. So, it has been good. There's been some great times where we've had some us time, gone camped on the side of the Murray, been fishing, doing some nice relaxing stuff. But there's other times where you've just got to move on. You've got to get going because you've got to be at a certain place, or you've got a certain function or whatever. And, we've been to schools and, talked to even kids that have been involved in the juvenile justice system. So it's been a huge range. And then it's just the average person we talk to. We've had a lot of conversations at service stations. People are there fueling up. They see all the stickers on the vehicle and, so what's this? What are you doing?
Other people recognise the reference to the black dog and they come over and say, I know exactly what that's all about. And then they just share their story. So if it's not Luna that's the icebreaker, it's the vehicle.
Yep.
You know, and it's great because you can go out and you can talk at people, but it's so fantastic when they feel confident enough to approach you and want to share.
Well, it's a great conversation starter, isn't it? Because you can't miss the patrol.
No, you definitely can't.
And if you're a dog person, you're drawn
Yep.
to Luna.
Yes. And certainly Luna is just such a beautiful dog. She's very relaxed, and I can see how she helps moving forward there too.
Yep.
She's fantastic.
So tell us a bit more about your website, where people can donate, because I think it's really important for people to get on board. And certainly Videocraft have been really pleased and honoured to be able to support Driving a Black Dog, and that everyone in the company even internally, it's a raised awareness for the whole issue, and I think that's benefit for all of us as well. Because certainly it's probably only been more recent times that it's come out in the open, and as you say, with certainly a lot of men, it's just, harden up and let's just move on, and we'll have good times and bad times. It's very important to be more aware of that. So tell us your website address there, Paul.
Yeah, our website is www.drivingozblackdog.com. We have Facebook, Instagram and Twitter presences as well, which is fun to try and manage. And if people would like to donate online, there's actually a link on our website, takes them to a My Cause page. So all of the donations can be done online. They get their tax receipt straight away, and 100% of the donation goes to our beneficiaries. So an even 50-50 split. None of that money comes to us. Having said that, we have had people actually come and give us cash donations, and we're happy to take an email address and then we send them their tax receipt. So it's quite flexible, but it can all be done online. Keep it simple.
That's right. And if there's anyone else that wants to sponsor us, we're still looking for sponsors. There's a proposal up online. So if anyone else wants to help us out, we've still got quite a few things that we're looking for, which would make our life a bit easier. So, please go on the website, go on Facebook, follow us.
And if there's anyone who wants us to come and visit their workplace, a community group that they are affiliated with, just send us an email. We're more than happy to try and fit it into our itinerary. That's what we're all about.
Great. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Kirstine. It's been really fantastic to have you along here for SEMPTI 2017. And we wish you absolutely all the best. And certainly for anyone out there that wants to go and help, please donate. And any other sponsors, get on board. It's a really great cause, and it's something that makes a difference in the community. So once again, thanks, guys. Thanks for being on.
Thanks, James.
Thanks for having us.
Good luck with the trip.
Much appreciated.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.